Hey, Allie, you want to be in the video? You don't make it into the videos, do you? This is my computer setup. You can see it's a little messy from the unboxing video that I filmed this morning. And if you watch the unboxing video, you'll notice that I did find the dog tags. They were just sitting on my nightstand. I'll do a full desk tour and a room tour in a future video, but for now I just kind of wanted to show you the basic desk setup. Lights here. I should have had this set to blue. There we go. Now the lights are blue. It's not going to be a sea change. It's not going to be a completely transformed setup. There'll just be a few noticeable differences. Like I have a new monitor stand, so you won't see the pedestal there anymore. This is a Lindemann tabletop from IKEA, and it is bowing a little bit in the middle. I had put an extra leg in the middle for support. You can see here, right there. And it works really, really well, all things considered. The only problem I have is this drawer keeps falling off because these screws wear through what is effectively cardboard, really dense cardboard. And thin wood and cardboard, and I have to re-screw this every month or so into a slightly new position, and eventually I'm going to run out of positions. You'll see here I've used some 3M command strips to attach these here. I use the Velcro kind. They're designed to hold, I believe, 5 pounds a strip. And I use 2 there and 2 here. I used to screw the surge protector on, but it would occasionally come off when I'd plug things in and I'd have to readjust it. I have the blue tape here measuring out where I could place these little cable management nubs here. There, have them measured out. It doesn't really have to be perfect, but I wanted to have some sort of consistency. And I also marked out the center point where I'll eventually be drilling the hole for the monitor mount. You see it's done. It looks pretty much the same as it did. It looks really different to me, aside from the fact that it's been cleared off. It's only about half an inch maybe? Maybe 2 inches, maybe a whole inch shorter, or less thick than the old tabletop. Overall, it's a lot more sturdy, it's a lot stronger. And you can see here, this is a large part of the reason I wanted to get this, because now a little hole is going to mount this quad monitor mount right there. There'll be a little bracket and such that goes over there, and it'll be mounted directly to the desktop. But there's little 2 pieces of shelving. You can almost see the gap there in the middle. And I mounted these to the wall through the studs. I knew exactly where the studs were because I was at the corner and right up against a window. And then I put 2 pieces of shelves on there, held on with Velcro. They don't really need, they can be screwed in, but I find that Velcro is plenty enough, and I'm able to readjust them accordingly. In the event that I need to move the desk, I can simply pop the shelves off, and I still have to finish mounting the legs. And the way I do that is, you can see I have it offset here. Instead of keeping this completely under one table, I have it partially under the next one to use as a brace or a connector. I may, in the future, I do plan on getting different legs altogether. I'd like to make this into a proper sit and stand desk, but for the time being, this will do. I'm going to run a zip tie through here, one that has a release lever on it so I can undo it when I need to change the cabling up. And you can see these here have little screw holes here, these little holes here. There is a bit of adhesive backing to it, so they'll stay up for the time being, but I found that without adequate time for these to set, or without them being under constant pressure, they will eventually just pull right off. So I am going to run some little screws through there to help secure them. I still have to drill some holes through the desk in order to make room for all these cables, so I don't have anything rolling across the top here. Little bits and pieces that I haven't put away yet. I sometimes will pack everything away that I think I won't need, but I always end up needing something, so I'm trying to learn from my mistakes and leave some of this stuff out here. But you can see the spaghetti mess of wiring under here. I have here a few cable management items that some of these I've used before. The cable drops I haven't used before. I've used something like them, but these are always recommended on one of the YouTube channels I watch, so I figured it's time to give them a try. They are a bit pricey. If you get them in store, I got mine at Home Depot. They run $10.95. If you get them off of Amazon, they're $9.95. And that's a little over $1 per piece, a little over $1.10 per item. And the rest of these I use to adhere different devices temporarily. I choose Velcro because I don't want everything to be permanent underneath the desk. I want to be able to move stuff around, especially when I switched up this desktop. It was really difficult to remove some of the old stuff. And this will allow me to move it around if I don't like where it's placed. It's just easier to work with, and it's strong enough that it can hold lightweight items, all of which, or pretty much everything I have under here is a lightweight item. And I use these to adhere the remotes to the bottom of my desk. I have one for the lights that I use to light up my green screen during the stream. And I have one that I haven't fully set this up again yet. But this was to change the lights around the back of my desk. I damaged them while I was taking the desk apart, so I figure it's probably time for an upgrade anyway, so I might not be reattaching that. But this remote, I would really like these to be black just for aesthetic purposes. It's really kind of a silly thing, but it's something that would bug me, knowing that there was an option. Okay, I think one of the final steps I have here, barring anything that I've missed, is getting the keyboard cables routed through the desk by drilling some holes. It was a lot easier with the old desk. I was actually just able to use a hobby knife, or it was a tester's hobby knife, to cut through the thin wood veneer, or whatever you want to call it, particle board. I know, it's basically cardboard. This one is a lot stronger, hence why I bought the desk. And I'm going to actually have to drill through it with a proper drill. And I have one over here with some titanium bits. And some people use a hole saw. I don't want to make the hole that big because even with a properly sized hole saw, it's going to cut something that's just a little bigger than I'd like. I just want the USB cable to be able to slip through. You can see about how wide a USB port is. I just need something that's big enough to fit a plug this width, just a little bit wider than this, through a hole. So we're going to just poke some holes with a really big drill and see how that turns out. Really big drill bit. Alright, what I've done here is I've done two tiny little pilot holes, which I started with a smaller drill bit, one that was much lower powered, easier to control. You start just a little bit of a hole, and I did two of them side by side so that I could just slide this in. Look at that. Instead of making a giant hole, I was able to make one that was just big enough to fit this one loosely through there. Alright, and I'm going to do the same thing with the mark around here. Drill. Now, if you really don't want the wood to split, you should be taping this off, but I honestly don't care if it splits very much because it will never be seen again. Even if I switch up to a different mouse pad, I always use the extended mouse pads, and it'll cover up any little minor damage. You can see I'm having a little bit of trouble with this one, so what I'd do is I'd go with a smaller drill bit yet. Then work my way up to this larger one. Now I'm going to take a big drill. There you go. Scoot down on the floor because we're going to clean that later. I still need to vacuum. There we go. And I'm going to drill one next to it so I could do the same thing. The other plug's a little smaller than this, but I'm going to make it wide enough to fit this one as well. Not exactly side by side, but we're going to have the holes meet here. You can see there, I got two side by side, and now I'm just going to wiggle the drill back and forth like a router. I know this one could take the punishment, so I'll get this little middle section. Instead of having a figure eight, it'll be more of a rectangle like this one here. Maybe a little better. Let's see if we can get this one through here. It's a little tight, but let's see if the Razor gamepad will fit through there anyway. A little tighter than I'd like. Although that's pretty darn close. I could probably force it through like that, but I'm going to loosen it up a little bit. And the desk is complete. You can see here we've got all the cables nicely tucked through the gamepad, or the extended mouse pad. And I've got the cable for the mouse pad itself routed as best as I could without damaging the cable through the desk as well. I got a Stream Deck this past Christmas. This has been routed as best as I could, and I actually did use a hole saw for this one because I also wanted to pair it with a custom grommet I made. It's a hole plug stuck inside another hole plug. And I have the cable for that, the Stream Deck routed through here, and this one is for the DS Fat. So if I run out of power and I'm streaming, I don't have to go far for the cable. And you have to have some decor. Got to have some personality here. Computer, Switch, GameCube, all tucked away. Projects to keep me, Pikachu to keep me inspired while I stream. All my, still got to have a printer. Haven't given up on that. Here's my headphones and the Stream PC, which has the power button installed right here. So when I'm sitting and I want to start streaming, I could just hit the button, pull up the stream on the screen there. I could either mirror it, or I could watch TV or something while I'm streaming. Really divide my attention. But I'll have the stream mirrored on these two here. I'll have something like OBS or Discord over here, and I'll have Twitch on this monitor. I got the camera here, which I'm never happy with how I position it, and the microphone that I use during my stream. I fold it out of the way when I'm not using it. I've got everything remounted. You can see from this angle, from the regular, most viewing angles, you cannot see the cables at all. But from underneath here, it's not as pretty, but it still works. You can see I've got the surge protector is still holding firm, still holding firmly to the desk. I do have to push some of that back in. And it doesn't look as nice under here, but I can assure you from most positions you will never see those cables. I could tuck them away even nicer or use a channel raceway, but I do change peripherals every once in a while, and I don't like being bogged down or things being made more difficult by excessive cable management. Excessive in my case. And that's it. This completes your setup tour. Well, that took a bit longer than I thought it would, but it's finally done, and I'd love to read your comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more from me, I stream every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night on Twitch at 10 p.m. Eastern. And if you like what you've seen so far, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out.